Well, thank you very much, and I'm pleased to be here today, although concerned that I am yet once again back before this House and pleading with the government in a way that is similar to what I did about 5 years ago when Jack Tyndall, a farmer from the Algoma area, drove all the way to Ottawa to speak with the NDP caucus at that time and to speak to the government and the country through the media about a huge challenge facing the farmers of our area, reflective of the challenge that was facing farmers, cattlemen particularly, across the country. The BSE was it was full force, full bore coming at us, and we were asking the government at that time to engage, get involved, help us out here. Well, here we are 5 years later, and we're back again, and the situation isn't any better. There was some movement for a time, and some programs put in place, but over the last couple of years, we've noticed lots of big announcements, but really no substance. When the farmers themselves go to access some of the new programs that have been spoke of by government, they really aren't there. They're difficult to access, and at the end of the day, some of them, even if you move to appeal, for example, can be harmful to the farmer. I just want to say that when I was here 5 years ago, we had some 200 farmers in our area raising all kinds of product to sell into the local market and to export. Now we're down to 80. And that number is dwindling with each month that goes by. That's the way it's trending. And if it continues in that direction, and I would suggest that that's probably the pattern across the country, that we will soon not have any small family farms left at all in Canada, and even the bigger farms. And we have today with us representatives of the Ontario Cattlemen's Association and the Canadian Cattlemen's Association and the National Farmers Union, who will speak to you about these issues and how they're impacting this province and the country as well. But I want to first invite Jack Tyndall up, who is the farmer that I speak of from our area, who's been champion for a number of years now through the Cattlemen's Association, trying to bring attention to the very real challenges that farmers who back 5 years ago at least had some equity in their operations. Now he tells me that equity is gone, and so they're flying without a net. And today he wants to address the House of Commons, spoke to our caucus this morning, speaking to members of the other parties on the Hill, but wants to speak through the press here this morning. So Jack, please.
As Tony mentioned, several years ago, we were here. Beef industry was in a crisis. And through the efforts of many, many people across Canada who raised their voices and put their efforts into it, there were some programs developed and put in place to alleviate that problem. The crisis is still here. We're in worse shape than we were at that time. And those programs are no longer working. The conditions of those programs dictate that most of us aren't eligible for them anymore, and we're asking the government to take a look at those programs, in particular the Canadian Agriculture Income Stabilization Program, now called Agri-Stability. We're asking the government to take a look at those programs and explain to us why they don't work and why they're not fixing them to make them work. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Gord Hardy. I'm president of the Ontario Cattlemen's. I also sit in the executive as an executive director to the Canadian Cattlemen's, and I chair their animal health committee. I'm here today and met earlier with MPs here in Ottawa to bring concerns of the producer to Ottawa. A lot of the issues that have been already talked about by Jack with agri-stability is a large part of changes that government could make to the only risk management program we actually have in Canada. It isn't working well for all of livestock. We'd like to see some of these changes put into effect. It would actually help all the Canadian farmers. As far as Ontario, with my other hat on, our producers, we have issues with concerns of trying to make a living in the cattle business, and it's been very difficult. Some of the regulations that are in place are difficult to keep producers on their farms. We have a real concern in Ontario, and we've been running young farmer organization programs to try and entice young people into the business. It's been a difficult challenge. In this industry, you almost need an off-farm job to subsidize your farming, and that is a sad thing when you think of Canada as a strong nation, and there's a lot of people to feed here. It's a shame that we can't feed them with our own people and our own produce. So thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Grant Robertson. I'm the Ontario coordinator of the National Farmers Union. That makes me the Ontario president, essentially. My grandmother used to say that there's lots of money to be made in agriculture. The problem is almost none of it is in farming. And that's even more true today than it was when she was saying that a few decades ago. Up until 2006, which is the last year that figures are available, Ontario, for example, has lost 62% of its underage 35 farmers, and that number has accelerated in the last few years. We are facing a demographic crisis. It has to do with the kind of income that farmers can make. And we are seeing in our area, and I'm a cow-calf producer myself in Bruce County here in Ontario, we're seeing that cow-calf producers are going out of business. They're just retiring and leaving the base of our industry in particular trouble. We in the NFU recognized a number of years ago that this was a problem that was moving forward. We put out a brief that's available on www.nfu.ca, and you will find that if you adjust for inflation, the prices that beef farmers in Canada are receiving right now is roughly equivalent to what was being received during the Great Depression. It's much more hidden than it was then because people are working off the farm. Both spouses, both the farmers are working off, trying to make ends meet, so it's much more hidden than it was in the 1930s, but the financial desperation is pretty much the same.
Thank you. My name is David Stewart. I'm Executive Director of the Ontario Cattlemen's Association. It seems to me that if you watch channels like BNN and you see all sorts of pundits and investment experts saying agriculture is the next frontier, that's where the smart money is going now, you should be investing in agriculture stocks. What we're asking is that the Government of Canada continues to invest so that there are people producing agricultural products in this country. Thank you.